Okay. Hi, I'm Sage. I guess I'm here to talk about watercolor.
Ooh. So I learned how to do watercolors this year, and it is hard. What was your experience getting into watercolors in the first place?
Um, besides like learning a little bit in high school, I took an art class last summer through the Santa Cruz Art League. My mom signed me up, and it was me and all of these like old ladies, and then one guy in his 40s. And they seem to all know each other in the art league. Like, I guess like they all take classes together. Like, I would leave, and they'd be like, "See you, Catherine, at the Tuesday morning." And I'm like, I'm not invited to Tuesday morning. But it was a very serious class. The teacher had gone to Stanford, studied art. We did different things every week. I learned that I had bought the wrong paper. Like, on the first day, I bought the supplies list, and then she projected on the projector the paper that I had bought, and it was the wrong paper. So learned about like really nice paper, really nice paint, brushes. Super fun. Definitely got me into watercolor. Now I have a ton of nice watercolor stuff.
Awesome. So what was the process like of you learning? Because I think for everyone it's kind of difficult, right? It's like just so different from any other kind of painting or drawing.
I think the process was like a lot of trial and error, and a lot of learning like just how much everything changes when you have nice paper and nice paint. I think that was pretty big for me. And I think it really helped to get like critique from the teacher, and she would go around and like show me how to undo my mistakes and use like magic eraser on watercolor, which is super cool. So I still feel pretty limited in my watercolor. Like, we learned a lot about like how to use like space and negative space, and I still feel like I'm only pretty proficient at like fruits and vegetables.
I think
So
fruits and
that's where
vegetables are
I'm at
incredible.
now. Yeah, I'm working on a series of 3 in my favorite color, which is undersea green. It's this really pretty green that separates into green and gold. I got an artichoke, some asparagus, painted some jalapenos, but they're not that good. So I'm gonna go like do another vegetable.
The artichoke is not only my favorite thing I've seen you make, I think it is my favorite piece of art I have seen like ever. It brought me so much joy to see that little green gold artichoke. I was just gonna bring it up.
Ah, I love the artichoke. And Gavin and I found so I was working on that for a while. Um, and Gavin and I found a watercolor artichoke in a frame in our trash room, and we hung it up, and it's like pretty cool. But people always come in and they're like, "Oh, that's your artichoke." And I'm like, "Nope, this is from the trash room." But it was really good, whoever made it. Don't know why it was thrown in the trash. Maybe there's like some sort of dramatic fight between like family or a couple, and they're like, "I'm gonna trash your art."
Oh my god. Okay. So other than fruits and vegetables, like if you had infinite free time, which I know you don't, what is one thing you wish you could make in watercolors?
I would like to, there's 2 things. I would like to do like a whole negative space painting. The teacher who taught my class teaches a whole class on like negative space watercolor. Would love to do that and take her class because she showed stuff that was super cool. Other than that, I would love to branch out to portraits, which is like exactly what I do with charcoal. So but I think it'd be cool to like add color. I go through phases where I'll do like one specific kind of art for a while, and like I did a bunch of linoleum printing and then like combining that with watercolor. Haven't done a bunch of drawing in a while, but I guess I'm still kind of on the watercolor thing, so maybe I will try that.
So I have a bunch of questions. And I guess the first one is, what is a negative space watercolor painting?
Oh, it was like when all of the main things in the painting was stuff that like wasn't painted.
Hmm.
So like the whole thing, I think I'm using this right because I think it was negative space and not positive space. Like the whole thing was painted with painting in the background.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if I had like a baseball, like I would actually be painting the area around the baseball.
Yes. You'd be painting the area around the baseball, but you would know it's a baseball still, and the baseball would be like the focal point.
Whoa.
So
That's
it's super cool to see.
That's crazy. In oil painting in college, we had this other kind of painting that was like you would paint a whole canvas like blue, and then you'd wipe away the contours of where you wanted the underpainting. So I did like someone's chihuahua, and so I like was wiping away like the shapes of the chihuahua, but everything else was just this like deep saturated blue, and it was so satisfying.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I miss painting. I want to do more painting. So back to portraiture. So you do a ton of charcoal. You did like the coolest charcoal drawing of Mac Miller ever, and it's giant. How did you like decide to do that project?
Let's see. So I had previously done a bunch of portraits. The first portrait I ever did was in high school of Audrey Hepburn.
Mhm.
Um, I took drawing because I had been promised to take ceramics by the counselor because I was an overachiever in high school and got one elective one year. Um, and so they promised me ceramics, and then I didn't get it. So I was put in art. So first exposure with charcoal, and I did this portrait of Audrey Hepburn that was pretty big, and that's when I was like, oh, this is something that I'm good at, so I'm gonna like stick with it and do more. So in college, I did a large portrait of Anthony Kiedis and of Morrissey. So I really like doing portraits because I think like one of the secrets of portraits are that they're not super hard to get to look like really lifelike. And so it like looks cool and looks impressive. And I think that you could do that with a lower skill level than like something else. So I went with Mac Miller because I was sticking with the like troubled artist theme. I think Gavin had said like, don't do a portrait of Kanye. Like it was shortly after he died, or maybe it was a while after he died, but I got super into Mac Miller after he died and right around when he died. So I thought that that'd be a good like representation of like, I don't know, my life, what I was going through, and another troubled artist.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love Mac Miller. I listened to him all throughout high school, and he died on my birthday, and I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself. I literally sat for an hour on my birthday and was like crying. And I was like, this is awful. Um, but aside from that, I think like art is a really like kind of great way to not only kind of express your emotions but also memorialize people, and like to have a portrait of someone is it's meaningful. And I don't know if I agree with what you said about the skill level, because like I think I'm a fairly good artist and I'm horrible at portraits. So, but maybe you have secrets that you could, you know, give us about how to do portraits well.
Hmm. I think the secrets to how to do portraits well first are to get the proportions right. So like actually go through and like grid out a drawing and then like transfer the drawing from newsprint to paper. Because when I was in Spain, I took an art class and did a bunch of portraits of myself while I was drinking. So I didn't want to draw it out and like transfer it, do a grid and transfer it. So when I look back at them, like a lot of the technique is pretty good, but the proportions are off and I look like I don't know, just like distorted. So I think that is secret number one, to actually have the correct proportions.
This is me, but very disproportionate. This was my
Ah, yeah, kind of like that. Oh, and then secret number two, is not a secret, is with charcoal, you can just like keep undoing things like infinitely and just like use use powdered charcoal, not even the sticks. Because if you use powdered charcoal and go on like really light first and then like build up more, like you could use brushes or like paper towel and lots of things to erase it and just keep trying.
Well, I think those are both great pieces of advice that I will start taking to heart. We're out of time, so thank you for talking to me about watercolors and painting and drawing and your life. And it's always so magical to be able to talk to you.
I'm excited to have been part of your project.
Thanks. All right.